Goshen, a professional astrologer, and in this video I want to talk about Taurus and Taurus rising for 2024. So welcome here, Taurus. If you're new to this channel, please feel welcome. If you're returning, it's great to have you back. And post a comment for me below. I'd love to hear how 2023 is or was for you, Taurus. So let's talk a little bit generally about what I'm seeing for 2024. And the biggest news is that Taurus still is receiving the blessings and the bounty from Jupiter. And Jupiter will be traveling through your sign until the end of May in 24. So make the most of this. Jupiter brings opportunities, it brings expansion, it wants you to be your biggest and best self. So utilize these energies before they pass on into the next sign, end of May, early June in 2024. When you're presented with something, say yes to it, even if it gets you out of your comfort zone. Because Taurus, you know that keeping things as they are, maintaining the status quo is important to you. You like to preserve things and you're very good at doing that. Arts, museums, beautiful things in the world are taken care of because of Taurus energy. So now, with expansion coming in from Jupiter and of course the change energy and frequency that you've been receiving from Uranus has also shaken things up a little bit. So for those of you that are born early in the sign, you've already experienced this authentic energy that poured into your lives in the last 2 years. Those of you born approximately April 20th to May 7th, give or take a day on each side, you've had that transit from Uranus to your sun. Or if you're an early Taurus ascendant, you've experienced that change that you wish to make. Perhaps you've wanted to move and you've been able to do so. Or you've managed to become more of an individual and contact your authenticity. Now, for those of you born approximately May 8th to May 17, you're going to receive that frequency, that vibration for opening up the box from Uranus this year in 2024. And I invite you to say yes once again to change. It's time to make a shift in your job. It's time to make a shift at home. It's time to reevaluate. Are you living your truth? And if not, how can you get more on track with that? And for those of you in late Taurus, born approximately after May 17th, you're going to receive that frequency from Uranus in 2025. So there's that to look forward to. Now for all of us, there's one very optimistic planetary combination that I want to draw our attention to. And that's around April 20th of 2024, when those two planets, Jupiter and Uranus, get together. So expansion, benevolence, justice is coming together with rule breaking and innovation. So we have a period in late April where we can throw caution to the winds for a little bit. We can experiment, we can innovate, we can let go of things that are not working and try something new and adventurous in both our personal and our professional lives. One of the questions I get asked the most in my practice on my channel is this aspect good or bad? Or is this planetary energy good or bad? Now, for those of you that read William Shakespeare, you know that nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. what was Shakespeare referring to? He was saying that however your mindset is orientated towards something, this is probably going to be what the outcome is. Let's take this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction occurring in April 24. It's an energy that is coming in. How are you going to utilize it? You can utilize it in an extremely optimistic way and make a change at work that sets you on a new path of innovation and exploration. Or you could use that energy in a more negative way where you throw caution to the winds to such an extent that you end up doing something foolish, possibly financially. Your integrity and your intention with having this knowledge of astrology is extremely important, because it's as you think, as your mindset and your heart as well is geared to use this energy, that's what the outcome is going to be. Astrology per se does not operate in a binary way. Nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. The planets are streaming forth all these energies into the earth, and how you use them is up to you. And one last example on this topic, I would ask you, is winter good or bad? Imagine a world without winter. Winter, everything is dormant, and it is setting the pace for this beautiful spring blossoms to emerge. Nothing is good or bad, but it's how we perceive it. So Taurus, exciting year ahead. Let's go month by month to get a little bit more detail. Taurus, January gets underway with a combination of activities in the area of travel, study, work, and home. So fairly dominant themes in your life are activated as soon as the year gets underway. You do have a few days grace period, January 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. There it looks like you have time to relax. There's an adjustment of travel plans. Possibly you would prefer to be stationary somewhere rather than rushing about the globe. So take it easy on the first few days of the year as Mercury changes direction. Then on the 4th, Mars enters your house of international travel, international outreach, connecting with foreigners, connecting with people around the world, just like we do on YouTube almost every day. So there's a possibility that while you may be traveling, you could also simply be engaging in a new field of interest. Maybe you've decided to study something. Maybe you're doing an online learning program, or you've simply found an interest and you're going to pursue it. That's really favored in January. So set your sights on that, because there's activity in that solar house, and that area of your life wants input. You want to enrich yourself at this time. Then around the 11th, there's a new moon, which is going to take place in your house of work. So it looks that by that second week in January, you're up and running and you're getting back into the saddle at work. If you don't work, a new moon in this area of your chart, I know that some of you are retired, some of you are working part-time. This new moon can encourage you to start something new within your community, because this area of your chart also rules your public status and how you put yourself out there. Maybe you're taking on a new role in a volunteer capacity, something of that nature. And as you go through the month of January, we see this polarity forming between your house of work or your public persona and the home. There's a little bit of tension there. How do you balance your time at work and your time at home? And by the time the full moon comes round on January the 25th, always take a day on either side of the dates I give because of your time zone. Then you are really focused on the home. And this is a good time to put energy into your home. What is blossoming in your home and how can you nourish this? Is there a child that needs extra attention? Is there someone else in your home that you want to lift up and give special attention to? Maybe your spouse. Or is it your home itself that is asking for attention? Planning some renovations, painting out a new room. Really favored at the end of January. Around the 27th, as the month draws to a close, there's an energy adjustment that's called for because Uranus is changing directions. So we all want to take a day or two to just keep it easy, take it easy, because Uranus may activate our nervous system and sometimes it can cause a little bit of restlessness. So make sure you're exercising at that time and you're not rushing about. February sees you hard at work, Taurus. There's a lot of activation in that solar house. So on the 9th, we've got a beautiful new moon in Aquarius in that area of your chart. It's asking you to set intentions for the month in relation to your goals. What do you want to achieve either at work or just in your external life in general? When we're talking about this house of work, we're not talking about private dreams, private ideals, private hopes that you may have for your own life. We're talking about what do you want to show the world. So use that time. This is when the planetary energies are helping you to wipe the slate clean and start again. As the month progresses, Action Planet also moves into that area of your chart, showing me that you're most likely very busy on the job or planning things, going out and about. And we also have beautiful planet Venus entering there too around the 16th. So bringing in the beauty, bringing in the joy, bringing in the pleasure, and hopefully also the money that you receive from work. The month of February ends with an activation in a more relaxing place of your chart, that house which is to do with pleasure, and that's around the 24th of the month, give or take a day on either side. Could be to do with your children, it could be to do with arts and creativity. I know that many of you Taurus and Taurus rising are artists or you work in a creative field. So use the last week in February to focus on being creative and to set some time aside for that in your life. March continues with these outward energies that putting your energy out into the world. The focus could shift a little bit more to groups, to friendships as March gets underway. And by the middle of March, that area of your chart is strongly activated. So get together with a group of like-minded people, your friends, whatever the case. And it could also indicate that you focused on achieving your goals in relation to work. And you may even receive some accolades or money might come in from work that you haven't been expecting. So that's a positive energy there happening in March. Around the 25th, we start the eclipse season of 2024. And you have the first eclipse in an area of your chart which is activating, asking you to get fit, to take care of your health, to tweak and make adjustments. If January and February are winter in your time zone, you might have let things get a little bit sluggish. So it's now the end of March. April's just around the corner. You want to start activating the chi in your body, getting ready for spring, exercising more and adjusting your diet. And with April, the opposite area of your chart is activated. That area where you want to go a little bit more within. Having that little bit of alone time so that you can know where you're heading to from now. Maybe you're exercising behind closed doors, but I see you in a more private space, especially around the 1st and the 8th of April, taking it easy, saying no to some of those invitations, and getting your routine in order, because Taurus, routine is very helpful to you. It keeps you on track. It helps you to manage your weight if you can stick to a regular diet. And with all that Uranus energy that's been activating your sun or ascendant over the last few years, important to get back to routine when you go off course. The month before your birthday is also traditionally a quiet time, because it is said in astrology that this is when Apollo has run his course. And the sun is in that hidden 12th house of your chart. And around April 19th is when the sun is going to move into Taurus this year. And you're going to be showered with the vitality and emerge again. So happy birthday, Taurus. I wish you a beautiful 2024. And the day after the sun's move into Taurus, we've got that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that we mentioned early on in the forecast. It can bring great physical prowess, opportunities, excitement, daring, adventures, thinking out of the box. So it's a blessing for you because it's happening in your sign. And I invite you to embrace that energy and do something unusual, which is fun and exciting for you on that day, or something that really nourishes you from deep within. Your new moon, your special new moon, Taurus, is on May 8th. So in particular, the day after, May 9th, May 10th, those are the days you want to set your intentions for the year, because that's when the moon is waxing, growing, and whatever you put out into the world is going to take hold and expand. So these are the intentions that you wish for yourself, for your life, moving from your birthday in 2024 to your next birthday in 2025. What do you hope to achieve? What wisdom do you hope to gain by the same time in 2025? As May continues, there is a chance that your partner's finances may come to light around the 23rd. If you're not in a relationship, this could be issues around taxation that you're dealing with. Doesn't have to be good or bad. It's simply that that area of your chart is activated. Take care of your taxes. Take care of your investments. Take care of your partner's finances. You might need to file some joint taxation or something at this time. And it's a good time to focus on it. Perhaps you're late getting your tax in, or perhaps there's something that needs to be reviewed. If you're not dealing with taxes or money at all, we could be talking about estate, death dues, things that have to be looked at and managed. So don't shove them under the carpet. By the end of May 26, Jupiter is going to be leaving your sign. So that whole birthday season, you're going to feel this energy of Jupiter in the last degrees of Taurus, asking you to bring something to completion that you began in early 2023. Get it done. Allow that energy of expansion to come into your life and make an extra effort to focus at this time. Because sometimes there's so much coming in from Jupiter that we can almost feel overwhelmed. Then on the 26th, Jupiter is going to move into the sign of Gemini. And this is your second solar house. So this is a great time, late May, early June, to set a budget, set a spending limit, reorganize your finances if they've got a little bit chaotic. You know, since lockdown, people's earning has changed so much, and we've also had a huge inflation in 2023, and we're not sure exactly how the financial situation is going to play out in 2024. So we want to get organized. We want to review our social security. We want to review our investment portfolio. We want to review our retirement strategy. And Jupiter in Gemini is going to help you with that. The only caveat is don't get obsessed with the details. Jupiter's a planet of expansion. It finds itself in a detail-orientated sign. So you need to find the balance between getting the bigger picture and taking care of the details. Don't get bogged down in either side. You also have Mercury and a new moon in Gemini in that house of finances in the early part of June. So all that tells me is that there's energy there to make things work, to bring money in, to organize your finances. And also remember that this house deals with our self-worth. So with Jupiter moving through this area of your chart for the whole of 2024 and for the first part of 2025, you're going to have an opportunity to look at your self-worth. Are you confident at work? Are you confident when you go out into the world? And most importantly of all, do you believe in yourself? Do you believe that you have what it takes to fulfill your destiny? Because we all do. Our charts show us what we've come here to do. So if you've been receiving messages from your chart over the past year or two, you're studying astrology on the side, or you're listening to various forecasts and you're putting it all together, if your chart is telling you something, go out there and see, can you make it happen? And the only way you can make it happen is if you have the confidence to make it happen. And I wish this for you, Taurus. Action Planet is coming into your sign around June 9th, and it's going to be there all the way until July 20th. So this means you should be feeling very vital. Lot of energy, make use of it. Good time to travel, good time to get out and about, and a good time to take care of yourself. If you've been spending the year taking care of your work, taking care of your family, taking care of others, June after the 9th all the way through to July 20th is a good time to focus on yourself. What do you need in your life right now? Do you need a break? Maybe it's the summertime, maybe you need a break now. And after that break, you're going to feel so much better and be able to once again engage in life. We're also starting a period around late July, moving into August, where the home is again highlighted, as is family, children, and relaxation. So if you don't have children, this can mean creative projects, anything that you give birth to. We could be talking about writing a book, making a piece of art. Dancing is very much a Taurian activity. Remember your ruler Venus, Taurus. She shines her light on you, and her jurisdiction is over dancing, beautiful things, art, good food. Also finances. Venus is the planet of money. So how to care for your wealth. And also this planet of feeling good, looking good, beauty. And of course the opposite side to that, overindulgence, too much sugar. So we always have to watch our weight, watch what we put in our bodies, that we don't overindulge with a strong Venus in our charts. Now I want to mention August, because we've got this emphasis on the home and emphasis on children, on creativity, on having, where do we find our pleasure? And this is emphasized because you're going to have a Mercury retrograde in this house around the beginning of August, more or less the 5th of August. So you want to allow yourself some time in that first week of August, moving forward, to kick back a little bit. So we don't want to have 2,000 emails to send in a day. We want to take time to relax. And because this is happening in your 5th solar house, you want to make that extra time, beginning of August, moving on into August, where you don't have to be operating in top form. The first day in September could be a challenging day. So I'm going to invite you to take it easy that day, to stay home. We've got 2 outer planets making big adjustments, and the positive outcome of this can be breakthroughs in ideas. But I'm going to encourage everyone to lay low and just take care of ordinary everyday business as September gets underway. Then for you, Taurus, there's going to be a shift around the 4th where the emphasis moves into education, or if that's not relevant for you, we could be seeing you going around in your local community, maybe short trips here and there, getting together with people in the neighborhood. And it's really just going out and about with things. You might be adjusting your routine. Maybe you're going more into the office now, and maybe you're going back to school, or your children are going back to school. Whatever the case, there's a lot of emphasis on that area of commuting, getting things done, getting the books organized, getting the stationery organized. So that's your focus. And later on in September, the shift moves towards a theme of partnership. A lot of energy enters your 7th house. So if you're in a relationship, you could now be asked to take more care of your spouse or take more care of your partner. Put more energy into the relationship, into what you're doing. If you're single, relationship issues may come up for you. Maybe you feel like dating again. Maybe something positive happens in the relationship area. The sun's going to be there. Venus is going to be entering there. So put yourself out there and invest in your relationships. We could also be referring to business partnerships. That person in your life that you work with, that you have a partnership with, the energy is there now. Use it to your best advantage. What happens in early October is there's a solar eclipse in an area of your chart that is going to ask you to revisit that health and exercise program that you started at the end of March. So early October, solar eclipse, and you want to make sure everything is in order. Great time to go for checkups, great time to have your teeth cleaned, great time to just take a general stock of what's going on in the health department. And we've also got an adjustment around October 9th where Jupiter slows down. So that's another good time, especially if your fitness method is to do with weights or muscle gain. Jupiter rules those areas, so pay attention to what's happening at that time. Do you need to adjust what you're putting in your body, what you're doing to your body? Because Jupiter has a mass, we always want to be aware when Jupiter is making adjustments, because it often affects our bodies. We can feel heavy at this time, and we can really need to put extra energy into self-care. November begins with a beautiful new moon in that house of relationships. So whatever you've been working on in October, in terms of relationship, whether you've started a new relationship, you're working on an existing relationship or partnership, this is your time to plant those seeds, to start afresh. Then around November 4th, a very important day, I want you to make a note of it, the 3rd and the 4th of November. Action planet Mars is going to be moving into the solar part of your chart, which deals with the home. Why is this important? because Mars usually whizzes through each area of your chart, taking about a month, sometimes a little longer, month and a half, to activate that area of your life. However, in December, we've got a Mars retrograde. What does that mean? It means that Mars is going to spend extra long in a sign. It's going to go forward through that sign. It's going to go backwards through that sign and then forwards again, acting as an emphasis to that area of your life, as if I'm taking a marker pen and I'm underlining something or I'm highlighting it in a neon color. So Mars is going to be entering early November, the house of the home. This area also has to do with new beginnings. It also has to do with one of the parents. So you could be spending time and energy with a parent, caring for a parent. There could be endings and beginnings in your home as you clear out, as you move on. Maybe people are coming and going, family members. So activate that energy early November and pay attention to what happens there, because Mars is going to be going back and forth in that area of your chart and the area of your chart that has to do with local neighborhood and education, all the way until the end of February 2025. That's why I want you to know what's happening in early November so that you can be aware on themes that you're going to be dealing with for those 3 months of the year. And we also have a beautiful, strong, and powerful full moon, your full moon, on November 15th. Give or take a day on either side, happening in the sign of Taurus, and it's next to this planet Uranus, the rule breaker, which really shakes things up and brings things into the spotlight, where a new form can come into the world. Something new to be born. You have to be awake, you have to be ready for change, you have to be open to change. And this is very much the theme, Taurus, for you, having to learn how to sometimes ditch the routine and go with the flow. So this full moon is going to bring that into the spotlight, and it's also going to bring to fruition those intentions that you set in the spring of 2024. And at the end of November 21st, to be exact, we're going to have Pluto, this powerful planet, finally moving permanently into Aquarius, where it's going to be until 2036. And Taurus, for you, Aquarius is your solar 10th house. This is your house of work, your house of career. And this is energizing. You've already been feeling this energy on and off since 2023. And now it's going to fully activate. There are changes for you. You're taking on a new role, or you're putting on a new cloak of authority, because Pluto wants to empower us. And you're going to have all these years ahead to now really step up. If you're not working, this can mean more engagement in the community. This house also has to do with one of the parents, so there could be a lot of activity at home. And the best way to manage Pluto transits is to not get into power struggles, but to engage in a form of self-empowerment. Let other people go and have their power struggles. You stay out of them and you work on being the best that you can be. And yes, we've got a strong movement of Mars slowing down. That's that retrograde that I spoke about around December 6th, asking you to take some time off, to be at home, to take some time with family. This could also be a very, very good time to travel. You've got a new moon at the end of December in your house of traveling abroad, your house of philosophy, expanding the mind. So in whatever way you can travel or break free, do that in December, Taurus. And I wish you all the best for 2024. That's enough in-depth astrology for today. Like and subscribe if you found anything helpful in this video. And I love to read each and every one of your comments. Wishing you all the best, Taurus. Until next time.